This is a wrestler profile. In this wrestling profile video, I'm going to discuss the Ultimate Warrior, his career, what I remember, some of the iconic matches that I remember seeing him over the years, and now with him going into WWE Hall of Fame, the impact I think that he's had on pop culture. So let's get started. The Ultimate Warrior arrived in WWE around 1987, 1988, and he arrived as the Dingle Warrior, and he really didn't have that big of an impact right off the bat. You know, he was one of these muscle-bound wrestlers that had come in. Sure, he was, beating a couple of people in dark matches. It wasn't until SummerSlam that the Ultimate Warrior, when he ran down the aisle and defeated the Honky Tonk Man to win the Intercontinental title, that match was actually supposed to be against Brutus Beefcake, but Beefcake was injured at the time, so Ultimate Warrior took his place. That was when Ultimate Warrior's, face was showcased for the first time as like a big name person, and that was when, he sort of took off. And after that, he had his run as Intercontinental Champion. He went up against Rick Rude. The title changed a couple of times with him being the Intercontinental Champion. And that was a great rivalry, was Rick Rude versus Ultimate Warrior. Of course, with Bobby Heenan getting involved. Then we had the Ultimate Warriors run up towards the WWF title. You had him, do the sit-down signing with Hulk Hogan for WrestleMania 6. The match at WrestleMania 6 at the Skydome was just an epic match. People say that it put Warrior on that pedestal with being, an amazing WWF champion. But if you look at how the WWF Championship was back then, sure, people held it for quite a while, but the Ultimate Warrior never really held the title for a long time. He held it for, it was just almost a year, I think, because he lost it to, I believe it was Savage he lost it to. And, the Warrior, during that time period, he had stuff going on with Papa Shango. He had stuff going on with... Oh, no, actually, he lost it to Sergeant Slaughter. I'm mistaken. He lost to Sergeant Slaughter because Sergeant Slaughter had the match with Hulk Hogan for the title. I'm kind of jumping ahead of the Savage Warrior feud was before WrestleMania 8. Slaughter beat Warrior before WrestleMania 7 for the title. And you had, even the stuff with Warrior and Sergeant Slaughter. And then, of course, we get into Warrior leading into, the retirement match with Randy Macho Man Savage. Macho Man retired. Warrior continued for a bit. You had Warrior tagging with Hogan against Sergeant Slaughter. And, Sergeant Slaughter and I think it was Iron Sheik. But that was also before the retirement match. But Warrior had that iconic pop image. People loved the Warrior. They loved him because his music was so dramatic. They loved that he could go out there and have like a 3-minute match and squash someone. And then we had Warrior coming back. Warrior left for probably about 3 years, came back in WrestleMania 12, I think. It might have been 10. WrestleMania 10, I think it was. And squashed Triple H. But, after that, he kind of went to WCW, rehinged his match against Hulk Hogan. And we didn't really see much from Warrior for a long time. Then all these videos started popping up on YouTube with Warrior discussing, believe, always believe, his message to Hulk Hogan after Macho Man died, him going on this, his life journey sort of videos, and also his videos where he was discussing how people should, prepare their life and stuff like that, life managing videos. The WWF and WWE really hasn't had a great relationship with the Ultimate Warrior. They released the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, which pretty much botched the guy, which pretty much put him in the shitter, made people believe that he was such a negative individual. And I think that with the Warrior going in the Hall of Fame, I think that that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to rehinge that relationship that they had. And they're actually releasing a new Warrior DVD
which will, I guess, showcase some of his good matches and probably have interviews with people shining a light on a better light on the Warrior's career. I don't know what's going to happen at the Hall of Fame. The Warrior's a person where if you give him an open mic, you not necessarily know what he's going to say. And I think in this case, the WWE is not really prepared for what the Warrior might say. You know, for all we know, he could go out there and just bash the shit out of WWE. But I guess we'll have to wait and see until the Hall of Fame ceremony. But I want to get your guys' take on what you guys think about the Ultimate Warrior. What are some of your memories of the Ultimate Warrior? And I will catch you guys later. Peace.